Hello, this is Pastor Ari from Martin Luther Church in Milwaukee at 93rd and Blue Mound, and this is AfterWords for the week of January 8th, 2012. This past weekend, January 8th, was Baptism of our Lord Sunday. I preach on the later texts in the New Testament, but today I want to talk to you about the text in Genesis. The other reading we had for the day was Genesis 1, talking about God beginning to create the world. And instead of getting into any debate about creationism versus evolution, I think the thing that's really important and interesting about this passage is what God does in it. It starts talking about how there was darkness and chaos in the world, and God is the one who comes in, and God creates light, and it was good. And God orders the light and the dark into day and night, and it was good. But I think this passage is important to remind us is that, first of all, God's creation is good. That I am part of God's good creation. God has made what we have and made us and calls us good. And then also what we see in this passage is that God brings light out of darkness and order out of chaos. And I think that's an important reminder. It's certainly an important reminder for me on those days where I just feel like I'm rushing around. My whole life feels crazy. It seems no matter how much I do or how fast I work, I can never keep up with anything. And really, I feel that chaos that's talked about there. And to be reminded that God can bring order out of the craziness of my life. That God doesn't want me to just be crazy all the time, but that God means for my life to have a purpose and a direction. And for those days when I don't like myself, where I find myself in dark places, maybe I think no one else likes me, I feel that I'm a terrible father or a terrible husband or terrible at my job or what have you, to be reminded that God brings light into places of darkness. That light of Jesus Christ came at a dark time, came into our dark world to give us order, to give us light in our lives. And so, as you go about your life this week, I pray that you would be reminded that you are part of God's good creation, and that those times maybe when you're feeling chaotic or in a dark place, that God brings life and order into our world and into our lives. God be with you. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week here on AfterWords.